You're listening to 91.7 KRX Austin. I'm your host, Reno, and these are my regions. For the final show ever, I wanted to showcase the people and artists in my life who have been influential and important. My life at UT would not have been the same if it was not for Big Y's brass band. I met Y at KRX, and he was one of my first friends ever. We developed a close friendship, and he would invite me to his gigs and parties where I would meet all my friends and make lots of memories. I was known as the unofficial dancer and even groupie. I would show up early and pregame with the band and even bring in equipment to shows, getting in free. I love Big Y's and miss their shows dearly, and I was thankful enough one summer evening to host their release party at my house. Big Y has a brand new single debuting today during this show, and to help me talk about it a bit more, I have the brains of the operation, Will, who I ran into at the post office where we conceived this idea. How you doing, Will?
Doing great, man.
So we'll have a couple of questions. Can you tell me how collaborations come about? Because this Power Hour really shows a lot of fine details and what it's like inside the band, the pulling behind the curtains and seeing how the recording works.
Yeah, that's a great question. Big Wise is really like 110% a collaborative effort. We have members who bring in songs, sometimes completely composed, but until it's actually gone through its first rehearsal and its first few shows, we don't even consider it done yet because everyone has their own take on idea. Someone could suggest a new section or a breakdown that could take the piece in a completely different direction than maybe what was originally thought it could do. And I think that's one of my favorite parts about Big Wise is that we all are so invested in the songwriting process, and we're always open to new ideas, no matter how old a song we have in our catalog. It could have been our first song that we wrote in high school. We still toy around with new ideas. Wow. to see if maybe it could be changed in a way.
Speaking of the catalog, in putting together Power Hour, how did you come up with what songs to showcase?
That was very difficult. I think the first Power Hour draft that I sent you, it was a Power 2 hours, and I had to go back and take some stuff out. We just have a lot of recordings. We have all of our studio recordings out in the world, but over the years we've collected a lot of really great live recordings.
Wow.
And we wanted to show off those live recordings in the Power Hour, but we didn't get around to it. We went from Cane Sauce, the first studio recording, through Pillow Talk, our latest release. And in the intended release, I wanted to have live recordings from HonkTX's over the years and live shows because it really illustrates the difference between our live performance and our studio recordings, and how the studio recording is really not the perfect example of the song, but it's like the concrete structure and the soloists, and it's in a controlled environment. Whereas when it's live, it can do anything. It could go anywhere. Right. It could be wild. We could take a soloist and have them battle with another soloist, for example. When it's live, it's like anything's game.
You're just feeding off the crowd, whatever's game, like you said.
Yeah, feeding off the crowd is huge. And I think that's one of my favorite parts about our songwriting process is if we play something live, like say when we were songwriting at UT and we would go to a party and we would try something new, and if the crowd maybe didn't react, then we probably didn't do it again, but if the crowd loved it, if the people shouted and screamed and liked it and asked us to play it again, or commented about it, then it's something that we noticed, and it made an impression on us, and we kept it and maybe even expanded on it.
Nice. Can you tell me a bit about some of your favorite gigs that you played live?
Ooh, I think every person in the band would have a different answer for this. One of my favorite gigs that we have done is probably performing either in Guatemala for the IGA International Jazz Festival, or one of our 2 trips to Costa Rica to perform as promising artists of the 21st century. I think all 3 of those trips were incredible and amazing experiences in their own unique ways. A show that sticks out to me on campus that happened,
Right.
the countless co-op shows that we played, where it's those co-op shows are just like raw. I think it's the only way to explain it. I don't know. It's just like everyone just went balls to the wall.
So ballistic.
Yeah. I remember people crawling on the ceiling at shows. Like, I didn't even think it was possible until we played co-op shows that stuff could get that wild and that fun. But I think a highlight of my UT experience and of Big Wise is playing the co-ops.
Now, Will, since I have you here, I was always curious, like, how did I don't know what you call it. It's not the party house, but like the house you had with Zach and Miles, right? Weren't they your roommates?
Yeah, and Chase for a little bit. The big house.
The big house, yeah. Can you tell me a bit about the big house?
It was
like who does the dishes?
No one. The big house was this tiny apartment that we had in West Campus off of Rio. I think it might have been Rio and 24th.
I want to say it was 24th as well, yeah.
And that place was where we would always go to hang out before and after a show. The band, either just the band or people who we met at the show or people who we were just pre-gaming with. It became this just like fun space to just like hang out and not really ever rehearse or discuss things about like band business or anything like that, but just like a place to just like relax and just like have fun, you know?
Right. And let your hair down and just
and just
have a croissant or some ramen
and just interact with our friends and the people who came out to support us. I mean, we would sometimes come back to the big house with people we had never met before that night, and we would just talk with them, and they would tell us what they liked about the show, and then we'd have a fun time with them, and then lo and behold, they would come back to shows, you know, years after that. And I think that was an important time and lesson for the band, that it really means a lot to us to get to interact with the people who come to our shows, and I think it really means a lot to our friends, family, and fans who do come to the show for us to go out and just like talk with them.
Right, be personable and like have this laid back nature, because I know a lot of bands who perform even at co-ops, they seem kind of untouchable almost. Like they have this like inner crowd that they hang out with, and you can't be part of it. But whenever I went to a Big Wise party, it always felt like you're us, you're family.
Yeah, and it's like why play a co-op show to be untouchable? I think it was a very important part of the band to be sociable and to talk to people and to meet new people and to meet new bands as well. I think that was also an important part of the big house, was inviting the bands that we played sets with to come and just hang out with us, you know?
Build that community.
Yes, of course.
So what's next for Big Wise? The Pillow Talk is coming out right now. What is after Pillow Talk?
We're currently in the studio recording some more songs. We have some collaborations on the table that we're working with, and just very exciting to see the show opportunities coming back slowly but surely.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to this interview or to this conversation?
I'm looking forward to that first show back when everything's back to normal, and we don't have the big house anymore, but I'm looking forward to wherever we gather with all our friends, family, and fans.
You're more than welcome to use my house again for the second release party.
Probably will.
Well, Will, thank you so much. Long live Big Wise. I love you guys so much, and my life would not have been the same without you.
Thank you, Reno. Big Wise loves you.
Hey, y'all, it's Big Y again. This next song we're going to play is Big Y's first studio effort called Cane Sauce, and we titled it because we were all eating a lot of Raising Canes at the time, just to show you what my diet was in high school. But this song was our first recorded effort. We did it at a home studio in South Austin when we were about seniors in high school, and I'd never been in a recording studio before when we recorded this, so I was very nervous, but it actually came out pretty well. Also, in help to our old sax player, Thomas Denning, because he was kind of producing it, added all the bells and whistles and stuff. So, yeah, probably first recording I'd ever been on. Enjoy. Hey y'all, it's Big Y. This next song is Valhalla off our Portal to Funkville EP. A little bit about this EP. It was our first project after Cane Sauce, and our first kind of project ever that wasn't just a single, and first project to be on streaming services. So this is a big one. It was recorded in scenic Bastrop County at our boy Scott's place. Shout out Scott. He did a killer job on this whole EP as a producer, engineer, you name it. Let's get back to the music.
Hey, my name's Austin. I play trumpet and I compose in Big Wise Brass Band, and I wrote Main Strut for Big Wise Brass Band to premiere at the IGA International Jazz Festival and our tour to Guatemala in 2017. And in Big Wise Brass Band, we've got the brass section, the horns you blow the air through, and you got the rhythm section, like the bass and the drums, the things you whack and slap and kick. So I thought it would be cool if the horns got in a little bit on the rhythm action. So Main Strut starts out with the horns laying down the rhythm. But don't worry, later on it mellows out and you hear a smooth flugelhorn solo. So I hope you enjoy Main Strut.
Funkville was the first song we ever wrote at our first rehearsal. HonkTX became an opportunity to showcase many of our new ideas and quote-unquote jam them out, especially if we only had half a song idea to begin with. We'd use live shows and our improv at them to complete our songs. Performing became a part of the songwriting process for Big Wise.
Hey, Austin Ollie here. I composed Phoenix for another international premiere with Big Wise, this time as guests of the United States Embassy in Costa Rica in 2017. Phoenix is a fiery and intense song all about rising up, and it's a mashup of a ton of cultural and musical influences I've had through my life, including the dance rhythms of Afghanistan, the film scores of Hans Zimmer, and all of that being filtered through jazz improvisation. And there are some pretty amazing soloists on this tune, including my great friends Wyatt Corder on trumpet, Paulo Santos on tenor saxophone, Brady Knippa, and Chase Osment on percussion. I hope you enjoy the raw sounds of Phoenix by Big Wise Brass Band.
This piece was written by William Wright and me, Miles Holmes, in the living room of our college apartment, the Big House. The Big House, as it was known, was a central party and social hub for the band during our third year at UT. And over our time at UT, we played countless house and co-op shows deep in the heart of West Campus, sometimes playing one house show just to pack up and drive across campus to play another party. Fun times. Now back to the music.
Hey y'all, this next piece is called Obesity. It's a song that I composed by myself, aka Big Y. It's a funky little number, and we call it obesity because the groove is fat with a PH. And I'll just let the music speak for itself. Thanks for tuning in to KVRX.
Hey, Austin Ollie here. I wrote the song Old Friends, dedicated to that feeling when you haven't played music with someone for so long and you get to come back and play with them. I first experienced this feeling with my best friend in high school, Grant Fannin, where we'd been separated by going to college for a few years, and we came back and we played trumpet together. It's an amazing feeling, kind of like being reunited with a long-lost family member. And that's exactly how I feel about coming back and playing with Big Wise one more time. And these guys, they're all my family. They're my brothers. And so I dedicate Old Friends to Big Wise Brass Band. Please enjoy.
So this next one was written by Austin All Lee, and I remember when he brought it into the rehearsal, I was super impressed by the heavy bombastic nature of it, but I thought it needed a little bit of a, maybe not necessarily bridge, but kind of a different section to give a little more spice. So I'd been listening to a lot of 12/8 Afro-Cuban music. I said, well, let's just throw it into an Afro-Cuban groove to change it up a little. Rhythm section lays it down, and we're grooving hard and going, and then the horns look at each other, come up with just a simple but effective line on the fly, and they jump in and lay it down. We just had a lot of fun with it, and we kicked it back to the original sound and finished it out, and that was the birth of this next track, number 24 by Big Wise Brass Band.
Hey y'all, this next song you're about to hear is called Pillow Talk. It's our latest single composed by yours truly, aka Big Y. This song is kind of the culmination of a lot of influences I've had recently, such as Lonnie Liston Smith, Donald Byrd, but just kind of a lot of funk and a lot of good fusion jazz, but also some yacht rock stuff like Steely Dan and Michael McDonald and all that. And then just some good old bedroom pop with those nice chorusy guitars. But yeah, this is probably the composition I'm proudest of, and I'm glad to have it out. Thanks for listening on KVRX.